Hey, hi guys, welcome back to another video from my channel, and today will be a very different video. I'm not going to show any duel at all or explaining any deck list, but I'm here to answer some of the questions that a lot of people has been asking about the Pendulum Magician deck. So there's these questions such as what do I combo, what's the next step that I go into, or what's the end board that I'm looking for, or what's the step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of comboing with Pendulum Magician. Yeah. So I decided to make this video because there's actually not really a good way to explain how to do combo A then using step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's always very versatile, very different depending on the cards in your hand. So instead of saying how to combo, I decided to go with what to prioritize when comboing with this deck. Yeah. So before I start, do hope that you can subscribe, like, and share my video, and hopefully just to try to get more subscribers in my YouTube channel, and I hope to see everyone there in my YouTube channel as well. Yeah, so without further ado, let's jump right in. So I make a simple chart for both going first and going second. So I'm going to just run through this and hopefully will give a bit more comment, how do I say, a bit more knowledge about how do I usually do my combo. Yeah, so this is how I break it down. I tried to think back on what I usually go through when playing in the game, and then this is what I managed to break down. I might not be every step, and there's really a lot of details that I didn't put in, so I wanted to just verbalize them. Yeah. So starting from the left, this is not really step by step on how to combo, but it's the things that I want to prioritize when doing the combo for my Pendulum Magician. So let's start from the highest priority first. So the first thing is, although this is like a bonus, but I'll always check my hand. Like, can I have 2 Pendulum monster on the field without Pendulum summoning? Yeah. So a few ways to do this is either I play Astrograph or Chronograph together with Time Gazer and Stargazer. I'll be able to come up with one of them and then normal summon the other, so that I'll have 2 Pendulum monsters on the field without even Pendulum summoning. Yeah. This gives a huge bonus if you manage to come out Electromite before you even Pendulum summon them out. So this is something that I always see if I can do this, but it's, for me, at least for my style of combo, I don't think this is a must. But if let's say you prioritize this thing a lot, there's always more options such as Curtain Raiser and throwing Dark Worm into your graveyard. And yeah, there's a few options to do that, but I usually don't really prioritize this. Yeah, so but if you really think that it's very useful for you, then do it in stuff like Curtain Raiser. Yeah, so this is the first one. So second, I would say, actually I think these two to me is the same priority. I would want to bait out their Ash Blossom or other hand threats such as Maxi or Effect Veiler or anything. So I'll usually, if I have Odd Eyes Revel, I'll actually throw out the Odd Eyes Revel first, because to me that's the most I would say least useful cards. I don't need it to resolve, I just need it to be in the graveyard. So by throwing out this, I'll be able to see if opponent has a response to it. Yeah. So if he has a response for it, I will know that at least he has an Ash Blossom. So I'll take note when activating the next few of my cards. But if let's say he doesn't have, means you can go all out. You don't really have to care about Ash Blossom after this. Yeah. So this is the first 2 things that I always try to prioritize first before I start my combo. Then next, I put this in border because this should be always your priority. Although this is not the first thing that I will look, but I'll always take this as my main priority. Always have a high and low skill pendulum on your hand. This includes after searching or even if you study in your hand, like both you have a high and low. But always remember to always have a high and low skill on hand, or actually I would say on hand or on the field. Yeah, mainly you just need both of them to be on the field to prepare for your Pendulum summon. Yeah, this is something that I prioritize always. Even for the rest of the steps, whatever I do, I will try to prioritize this thing even after Pendulum summoning. Yeah, this is mainly for the next turn. And after that, I will say I'll prioritize add cards to the extra deck. So a few ways to do this. There's Wisdom Eye Magician, which I should have put it here just now. Yep. So let me just put it in. either having Wisdom Eye Magician to destroy itself and send to the extra deck, or you can also use like Pendulum Luster to destroy one card and send to the extra deck. Yeah, this is because you always will be able to Pendulum Summon from your extra deck at least one monster. Yeah, and by destroying this, by using its effect to destroy, you're actually sending one and also adding back one to a hand. So it's actually a +1 on the field if you think about it, because even when it goes to extra deck, you are able to Pendulum Summon them out. Yeah, so this is the next thing I'll try to prioritize. I'll try to throw in some stuff to the extra deck. Yeah, be it through effects or destroy myself or anything. Yeah, there's also a way to get more cards into your extra deck by using Sky Iris, which I played recently using my Pendulum Magician deck, my All Ice Magician. Yeah, so do take a look. Okay, next I have I will try to have Harmonizing in my hand. Yeah, why? Because if I'm able to Pendulum Summon out this card is actually a +1 because it's able to special summon any one other card. Yeah, and this is very useful. Yeah, and also because it's a tuner, I will always want to have at least one tuner in my hand. Yeah, so after making sure you have high and low skill, and then the next thing is either Harmonizing or at least one of your tuner in your hand, and to be able to Pendulum Summon them out or at least get them out on the field. Yeah, so if you have Ash Blossom, you should Pendulum Summon it at this point in time after you conclude that they do not have Maxi, which is actually pretty easy to know if they have Maxi or not, because what I usually do is when you just need to set one card on the skill, and then without any monster on the field, you see if there's any response from opponent. If there is, most probably it's a Maxi, because most of the hand trap either targets a monster on the field or something in the graveyard. So without a monster on the field and graveyard, they will not be able to activate anything other than stuff that is like more generic, such as Maxi or Numeron War, or yeah, not even Infinite Imperm, because Infinite Imperm still needs a monster. So by straight away activating a skill, you will be able to roughly guess, not really say guess, you'll be able to conclude if they got Maxi or not. Yeah, so, which is kind of like a sad thing in this game, but I don't see a way for Konami to do something about this, because there's always need to make to allow a respawn when opponent do anything. Yeah, so always have a tuner, able to summon out a tuner. Yeah, because to me this is very important regardless of the variant you play. Yeah, and after having the tuner, to me the next priority, instead of having more monsters on the field, is getting ready your trap. Yeah, so this time Pendulum Grasp Trap is very useful, and how you get this out, there's multiple ways. You can either use your Double Iris, destroy it to get it out, or you can just use your Duelist Alliance out. I'll usually use Duelist Alliance to get it out if I have already a Pen Core in my hand and the Pen Core managed to resolve. Yeah, because with Pen Core resolve, I won't actually really prioritize the monster. I'll actually prioritize getting the trap out first, because it's an easy send 2 card on the field to the grave. Yeah, so this is my next priority. I'll always try to aim this card out either by destroying or using Duelist Alliance, but most of the time it's by destroying. Yeah, so yep, this is the first 7. Then after that, once you already have your high and low skill, I will try to Pendulum Summon out at least 2 Pendulum Monster and 1 tuner. Yeah, so similarly, like what I mentioned just now, you should already have a tuner in your hand, either Harmonizing or any other tuner. If it's Harmonizing, it's a good +1, but if it's not, it's still good enough. With this 2 Pendulum Monster and any tuner, be it a Pendulum or non-Pendulum, you can already actually do out your most basic field, which is already pretty good enough to me. Yeah, so then after that, I'll prioritize linking to Electromite first, and to see to throw my Astrograph into the extra deck. Why Astrograph? Is mainly because Astrograph has the ability to add back another card to your hand, which allows you to have more cards in your hand or resources for the next turn. Yeah, but there's also some alternative that I usually go for is I will add Skullcrowbat to the extra deck if I have not normal summon and if I don't need the level 7. Yeah, so this is an alternative that I do sometimes, and usually I go for this if I manage to Pendulum Summon without if I manage to get out Electromite before Pendulum Summoning. Yeah, so this is one way that I will do. If I manage to grab it, I will manage to do Electromite without Pendulum Summoning and without normal summoning. I'll get Skullcrowbat, yeah, instead of Astrograph. Yeah, then after that, once this is done, I'll link to Halifreebucks with Electromite and the tuner in my hand. Then from there, you can either grab out your level 1 tuner, or at least something to tune with the rest of the card in your deck. Yeah. And the rest is really dependent on your variant. If you're playing the more interruption variant, you'll try to go to Apollousa, or if you're playing the side version, you need to try to get outside. And yeah, so after the rest is pretty straightforward. It's really dependent on how you build your deck. Yeah, so I hope this going first priority thing gives some better insights of what to prioritize when you're doing your combo. Yeah, so this is usually how. But of course, do share with me in the comment section below if you think there's any other thing that you usually prioritize when you combo with your Pendulum Magician deck. Yeah. So this is about going first. I think I'll just do the second one here as well, so not speed up the video. So for going second, the highest priority to me is still always having a high skill and low skill. Yeah. Regardless what you want to be able to Pendulum summon them out. Yeah. So while keeping this possible, you'll need to bait out all the opponent's known negates. What I mean by known negate is either cards that's already on the field with negation, or things that your opponent set in the spell trap zone and you already know what is it. Or maybe they have already added a negation to their hand and you know it. Yeah. So try to remember what are the negates that your opponent has in their hand or on the field, and then try to bait those out with those a little bit more useless effect. Yeah, such as same thing I would say Ice Revel, or your Trump Skullback Joker if you already have a lot of cards in your hand. And yeah, then next this is pretty similar to going first. Bait out all your unknown negates. So maybe from the start he already has a Maxi or Ash Blossom in their hand. Yeah, try to bait those out first so that you know either they don't have any more, because Ash Blossom can only be activated once. So if they activated it already, you know that the rest of your cards won't be negated. Yeah, so that's something that is good to always know. Try to bait out everything first. Yeah, I mean, although it sounds easy, but prioritizing which effect to go first or what is always hard. Yeah, but always try to compare. If you have 3 cards in your hand, which one is the most useless one that should be negated? Try to bait those out first. Yeah. So if let's say you manage to bait out all your negates and you know that opponent has nothing more, they can't negate anything else. Yeah. The next thing I'll do is clear his monster. Either using a Supreme King Clear Wing, or just by using Access Code Talker to slowly destroy them one by one. Yeah, let me just put this in here. Yeah, so this is usually how. So after clearing, if I'm able to clear his monster, or actually I would say clear his monster and going with the same priority as the going first, should be the same level. Yeah, because if you already has negate all his monster, you should be able to clear him out one by one. Yeah, and then you'll go back to your first list to prioritize this set of thing again. Your trap, your harmonizing, and everything else here. Yeah. So let's take a look. So after you are able to follow the go first priority list, then the next thing is you can follow it to a certain level, but your next priority should be try to summon less than 5 times and able to OTK. Yeah. I didn't put 8k life point here because your opponent might have lesser, but able to summon less than 5 because of Nibiru. If you're able to come out, let's say, a lot of small monster without even linking or anything, and able to accumulate 8k, then why not just go ahead. Yeah. This also includes if you have Purple Poison in your skill. It's an additional 1.2k, which is quite a bit actually. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to do this, and I see a lot of replays of people just overextending, trying to go all out and stuff like that. Unless you have a negation on board, then I think that it's best not to do more than 5 if you can. Yeah. But understand this, in most scenarios this is not possible, because actually we do need quite a bit of summon before we can do 6.8. But one way to get 6.8, to get OTK easily is actually using your Starving Venom and also your Odd Eyes Revolution. Yeah, so these two cards actually gives you a 6.8k for Starving Venom, and then maybe you can just normal summon another monster out, and you will have easily 8k damage. Yeah. So after that, if let's say I'm unable to do lesser than 5 summon to OTK, the next thing is I will just try to OTK. I mean, if they really have Nibiru, I will just give the game to them lah. Yeah. So if you can OTK at this point, because you already clear his monster, then you should be will want to OTK them. Yeah. But if let's say after you think you go through the combo in your mind and then you realize that you are unable to actually OTK them, then I will totally forgo damage. I'll just go for a lot of negation. Same goes for if I'm going first. Yeah. So I'll try to set up a lot of negation, either Savage Brawler or Apollousa or even Ice Vortex. Yeah. Because to be honest, Pendulum Magician won't be afraid of not having enough damage. So even if you don't do enough for this turn, next turn once you clear his deck or prevent him to summon more stuff, you'll be able to OTK very easily. So if you can't kill in this turn, don't even focus on the damage. It doesn't matter if you have 1000 life point left or 8000 life point left. To be honest, it's not that huge of a difference for Pendulum Magician because they can easily hit 8k. Yeah. Okay, so in summary, these are the things that I prioritize when going first and second. So this is not a combo video. If you want a combo video, do check out my YouTube channel. There's quite a number of combo stuff there for you to see how each of the combo works. But this is how I usually think when I play the game. Yeah. So then I would like to just follow up with some of the general tips which a lot of people ask me about. And I think these are some things that would be good to share. So I think first thing is for to negate the important cards. Yeah. So because actually Pendulum Magician don't really have a lot, I wouldn't say there's a lot of negation unless you have Apollousa on the field which gives you 4. You should always try to target the most important card. Yeah. But how do you know even if it's the most important card? I think first thing is you need to read their effects properly. And if let's say it's something that they can activate again in their hand, for example Danger, like if you Ash Blossom or Danger, they can actually like activate in their hand again because it's not a once per turn. So those cards you need to really read a lot more, or actually learn from your mistake. Like if let's say you have negated a Danger before, then you should then they activated it again. Then you just have to remember, say, oh okay, I can't negate Danger, so the next game you don't repeat the same mistake. Yeah. So this is one. And then next is know what's gonna come next. So if let's say you fight with a Pendulum Magician deck, and they come out with Absolute Dragon, you know that the next card will be Ice Vortex most probably, and this is when you should try to use up all your effects and stuff before they get out Ice Vortex, because once Ice Vortex is out, you won't be able to activate anything else because it will get negated. Yeah, so stuff like this, it's really based on experience, such as also when you fight Eldritch, you'll realize that all Eldritch threat requires Eldritch to be on the field to trigger its secondary effect of either destroy one card on the field or either banish one card in the graveyard. Yeah, so this two is really important to know what to negate. Yeah. And next, if you should Pendulum summon your Ash Blossom if you know that they do not have Maxi. Yeah, so as mentioned just now, you should test this out by setting a skill first to see if there's any response. So once you set a skill, if let's say the turn pass over to your opponent and there's a delay there, it means that they most probably have Maxi. Like, why do I say so? Because most of the time, hand traps target either graveyard or monsters on the field, or mainly it's these two. So if you activate a skill, they shouldn't have the prompt to activate like Infinite Imperm or Effect Veiler or DD Crow, for example, because you do not have any graveyard or any stuff on the field. So most probably it will be a Maxi, because Maxi is a generic hand trap. Yeah, which usually there's not a lot. And that's the only one that people play. Another one I can think of is actually Numeral War, but that's also not a hand trap. But it's just something good to it's just a small trick to know that if opponent has Maxi or not when playing our deck. Yeah. Although I don't really like the fact that I'm able to predict they have Maxi or not, but this is one way to roughly understand if they have Maxi or not. Yeah. Okay. Then lastly, like what I mentioned just now, if you can't OTK, don't prioritize damage. Prioritize your negation. Just go for maximum number of negations or interruptions or anything. Yeah, just to prevent his play the next turn. Yeah, never prioritize damage if you can't OTK. Yeah. So this is mainly it. And yeah, I think the most important is the first one. You really need to know what kind of how does your opponent deck works, and this actually comes from a lot from experience and playing Yeah, and when you play, just try to remember what are the things that they do before, and they will most probably do the same since they're using the same archetype. Yeah. And okay, I think I just want to summarize some of the cards in the deck. So your main core interruption cards are actually this. Your Savage Borrelot, which is easily which you can come out easily with a Shogograph plus 1 level 1 tuner. But just to make sure you always have a link monster in your graveyard. If not, he can't negate. Yeah. Then next is your Trap. Your Trap is the most useful card in the game. I would say one of the best Trap. Okay, let's not talk about IO or skill drain, but this card itself is very, very strong. Yeah, because it can actually send one card on the field to graveyard if if any one of the card that's trying to be destroyed cannot be destroyed. Yeah. And next you have your Apollousa. This is something that I prioritize also in my Odd Eyes deck, because I'm playing the Ghost Ogre version together with the Trap. Yeah, so actually quite a lot of negation already. Then Balguska is my next go-to if let's say I got Maxi, because Balguska can be easily come out with just 2 level 4 monster, and you can just come even if after you got Maxi, just try to get this card out first and then just leave it on the field. Yeah, this is one of the, I would say, a mini True King of Calamity. Yeah. Then next we have Odd Eyes Vortex, and not a lot of people play this, but I think I see more and more people playing Odd Eyes Vortex now. This is one of your big fat butt interruption card because it has a 3k defense, and usually you should summon this in defense position because of Lightning Storm as well. Yeah, so these are your cores. And secondary, I would say these are stuff that some variant play, like for example Wonder Magician Artifact Site. These two goes well together. Yeah, but with Baron coming out next, I think that will be something good to consider as well. And then Supreme King Clearwing. This card is usually good if you manage to grab it out during your opponent's turn, because it has a Raigeki effect. Once you are able to come out during opponent's turn, and then you can Raigeki his field, it's pretty good lah, because at least you get to clear his field, and you need to know when to clear his field. Has all the effects that start coming that returns back from graveyard to field already been used, and if yes, then you should come out this card to clear his field. Yeah. Next we have Harbinger. Harbinger isn't one of my favorite because it takes up too many resources, such as 2 Starving Venom, which is equivalent to 4 Pendulum Monster, just to come out with 1 spell negation. Yeah, but I think this is the alternative for people who are going, who are playing the FTK build, and then if they fail the FTK, this is one of the things that they will end the board with. Yeah. Next, this is something. The last 2 cards is something that I add into my deck recently. It's a Ghost Ogre and Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. Yeah. So I'm currently playing the Odd Eyes build, which I think you can see in my comment section below in Twitch, or you can just check out some of my recent videos in the channel. I'm playing all about Odd Eyes Magician now. This is for me to try out during season 4. Yeah. So why Ghost Ogre though? Because if you realize, Ghost Ogre effect, you can either discard this card from your hand or from the field to the graveyard. That means that this card can be summoned using Harley Freebox. And once it's summoned out on the field, it effects only negates until the end turn. So during opponent's turn, this card will be able to activate its effect again. Yeah, and this is one way that I make my board a lot more simpler by summoning out this Ghost Ogre card. Yeah. And next, I really like this Persona Dragon. Okay, I think you can't see the effect here, but the monster effect is you can actually quick effect target 1 face-up monster on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck and negates its effect. Yeah, so this card actually saved me from Zeus one time, although I think he should already try to activate Zeus effect once my skill are up, but he didn't. So once I get this card out, when Zeus tries to activate his effect, I just use his effect to negate it. Yeah, so this is an easy 1 card negation without requiring any sort of resources other than itself. Yeah, so I would say this group of cards are your main interruption for the deck. Yeah, also depending on the variation you play. So there's a Kali Yuga version, which the video will be up soon, and other sorts of variant. I think there's more and more weird combos now thanks to the community chat. I think a lot of them are very creative and trying to come up with more stuff. Yeah. And yeah, lastly, I just want to talk about some useful supports. So although these cards itself don't actually directly interrupt your opponent other than Ash Blossom, but these are supports to getting your interruption out, or actually to extend your play. Yeah, so star pendant graph, a lot of people forget the effect that your opponent cannot target spellcaster monster you control with spell cards or effect. Yeah, so this itself is very useful when going against stuff like Sky Striker. Yeah, because Sky Striker won't be able to negate your Time Star Magician with Anchor, or can't destroy it with Afterburner as well. Yeah, so this card itself is very useful, not just because of the search effect, but also because of the protection effect. Yeah. And Star Time and Pancor is in here because of the trap. Yeah, with these two cards, with either Pendant Core activated that turn or with Star Time on the field and trap, you are able to remove like 2 cards on your opponent's field a turn, which is very very strong without even needing to use resources from a hand. It's just throws card to your graveyard using Star Time effect. Yeah. So mainly that's all the things I have. I really hope that this prioritization list will be useful to a lot of players here. And if you have any questions or the kind of video that you think will be useful for me to explain or do up, do share in the comments below, and I'll try to find time and do up the video. Yeah. So for those that managed to stay throughout or the whole video, we really appreciate it. And if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It will really help my channel grow. And I'll see you guys in the next video.